I'm continuing my conversation with Elyse Rooney today in this part 2 of low-tox living for new moms. Now, in this conversation, we talk about the significance of reducing toxins in our daily life for better health. And we discuss how often we overlook the impact of seemingly small things like eczema, asthma, and headaches, and how they can be triggered by the toxins in our environment. Now, Elyse is a mom of 3 littles. She's married to her best friend, a Christian motherhood coach, and a chai latte enthusiast. Elyse helps moms step into their calling of homemaking and raising their children and actually enjoying it. She is passionate about helping overwhelmed moms trade stress for peace and creating flow in their home. All right, let's jump into today's episode, continuing our conversation about Low-Tox. Hey mama, are you struggling with how to make time for yourself as a work-at-home mom? Are you drowning in laundry and dishes, poopy diapers, and kids who are constantly screaming, Mom, even though they're 5 feet away from you? I get it. I'm Jessa Ray, and this is Caught Up in Motherhood, where I want to help you set priorities, create boundaries, ask for help, and learn to love yourself in motherhood again. You can show up for you without sacrificing motherhood and without the guilt. So if you're ready to be caught up in motherhood, then go grab a fresh cup of coffee and that laundry basket sitting in the corner. Don't worry, I've got mine too. And listen in to today's episode. I think it's those little things that we don't think about that maybe are going on. They're like, oh, that's just eczema. It's just asthma. It's just a headache. Yeah. And then you really start thinking about it and diving in and like, well, if you removed these things, all of a sudden you realize that headache's no longer there, or that asthma isn't as bad, or the eczema starts to clear up. Yeah. And it's just those like aha moments.
Yes, for sure.
I'm asthmatic since a kid, and it's something I've constantly fought with. So we go fragrance free here for my asthma reasons. And having this conversation, I'm like, I wonder if some of those things were actual triggers too. But we just cut it out because, the smells alone was just too much for me to handle. So I went fragrance free a long time ago. But now I'm like, oh, look, extra brownie points. A little bit of extra low-tox there too.
Yeah, and that would be exactly what it is. Like our bodies are made to detox, and so we can tell, our bodies can tell, particularly if you haven't been, our bodies now, hang on, there's 2 things I'll say one first, and my brain's like our bodies know when something is not right.
Yes,
like our bodies know that is a toxin, I'm going to deal with it, which is why we need to reduce our toxic load so that our body, when it does recognize this is a toxin, I need to deal with this, I'm going to detox this out of my body, it needs to be able to do that. And so when we reduce our toxic load, we're giving our body the opportunity to naturally detox. That's one of the main benefits of going low tox. But our body, when like you with the asthma symptoms, you smell the smell, and like the smell alone is too much, but also your body's probably going, the smell is too much because the chemicals behind the smell are making me react and bring through asthma symptoms. I don't like this. I'm going to send red flags, which is why we get like things like pimples on our face. Because the body's inflammation is so high, we're not detoxing naturally. And so our body is sending us these signals, and then it's going, you're not listening to me. I'm going to put pus on your face in the hope that you would listen to me. But there's something going on. I need help. But so many of us think, and this was me too, I'm fine. I don't need to go low tox. I'm fine. I've been using these products all my life. I'm totally fine.
Yes.
But the problem is that we have not been using these products our whole life.
No.
Even though, yes, you may be using store-bought chemicals and have used those your whole life, but every few years, ingredients are changing. Companies are updating what they're doing. We're getting new chemicals come on the market. So we can't actually say we've been using these products our whole life.
No.
And then with that, I'm fine. you know, what we were just talking about. Are you really fine though? Like, do you have PMS? Do you have regular periods? That's like number one. Do you
Right.
have a regular pain-free period with no PMS symptoms?
Right.
Most women in the world are going to say
No.
no, I have PMS, I have
Right.
cramps, they're really irregular, they're really heavy. That is a symptom of a hormonal imbalance, which means something is not right.
Right. That's such a good point, because I think like society, commercials, all the places that you're getting like your information from are telling you that that's normal.
Mm.
So you're like, well, that's just part of it. Like your doctors half the time too. That's normal. Just take your pain meds, you're fine. To then be like, well, no, there's something you could do. Like if you changed your tox intake, made a couple adjustments here and there, maybe those things would go away, or at least those flare-ups would go down.
Yeah.
So it's such a great point, and really gets you thinking about what you were doing maybe before baby, after baby, and just where you are in life in general. Like you said earlier, once you know more, you can do better and make those changes. So it really gets me thinking too about all those things. Like you brought the acne, makes me laugh. Because it's so true though. Like it was like even for me, like as a teenager, like such bad acne. It was always in that jawline, and I was always told, "Oh, that's hormonal." I'm like, "Okay, great. What does that mean?" And I couldn't get that answered. I couldn't figure it out, and it took me years to figure out what hormones I needed to be addressing to get that, that chin strap of acne to go away. Because okay, great, you labeled it, but now what?
Yeah.
I think, like you said, taking these little steps with the Low-Tox, you'll see big changes, and then I think it'll help motivate to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Whether you're making your own laundry soaps or buying the better products that are out there. Because I can say that was one that we did, trying to find a good soap, is we found one that we liked, and we just buy it now because mom of 3 with a newborn, I'm like, I can't do it. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard, like you said, to make the laundry soap with 3 ingredients. Like your recipe sounds better than the one that I was trying to do. But it's just those things you have to make those decisions on what you're going to do and how you're going to go about doing it. So with that, the laundry soap, the fragrances, sounds like is a great place to start. Can you talk to us a little bit more about when we are at the store and we're looking at products? How do we go about understanding the labels a little bit better, like to know what to look for? So fragrance free, I think, is the first thing. But what else can we be looking for when we're looking at our labels to know what stays and what goes?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because it's one thing for us to sit and have this conversation and for a mum to listen to it and then to go into the shop and go, oh, what am I doing?
Like just get overwhelmed with it. Like, now what do I do?
Yeah. So my number one tip number one is to turn the bottle over and actually read the ingredient list. Because there's a thing called greenwashing, and companies love to greenwash. And what that is that is making the product sound a lot healthier than it is. So they do this on food, they do this on products. They use words like eco, natural, pure, even the word organic. You can add the word organic, but it has to, without it being certified organic. So I can create, there's actually a soap brand in Australia called Organic Care. I think that's what it was. And I think they actually are no longer in business because they got pulled up. Nothing in their ingredient list was organic. No. The brand was called Organic Care, but their actual products were not certified organic. So that is a huge thing. If you are
that's sneaky.
It's very sneaky, and it actually made me very angry when I found out how they go about this, because we can get tricked, and we do get tricked. I even still 5 years in will quickly be at the store and just like, oh, I just quickly need to get something, get it, and then take it home and go, what? No. So my number one thing is to, the front of it, sure, but actually turn around and look at the ingredient list, because that is what matters. It doesn't matter if they say, you know, free of this, no nasties. You turn it around and you make sure that there are no nasties in there. So I don't want to overwhelm. So fragrance free, yes. Make sure there's no fragrance. Parabens is another one. So that is a preservative that they add. So again, it's full of hormonal disruptors. It can actually, parabens, that is one that I would actually say up there with very, very important, because the chemicals in there disrupt the hormones so much that they can be linked to infertility and reproductive problems and those kinds of issues. It actually can affect birth outcomes. So there's a huge, and that I know can sound really scary, but that's the truth. That is what now we are seeing the research start to come out and go, oh, actually, that's not actually good for me or my baby at all.
Yeah.
So parabens would be up there with fragrance for me. The other thing is PEG, so polyethylene glycols. Okay. They are petroleum based. So that's the thing. A lot of chemicals are petroleum based. So I don't really want to be using petroleum based anything.
No.
And it's funny because we think but we actually think about the process that they will go through to be made and go, yeah, no, thank you.
Right, no.
So depending on how they're made, PEGs can be contaminated with a chemical called ethylene oxide. So they're polyethylene glycols, but they are made from ethylene oxide, and one for dioxane. And so they are both known to be human carcinogens, so cause cancer in humans, known. And that is from the International Agency on Research on Cancer did that and found out that. And so the thing is that just because it's in the supermarket doesn't mean it's safe.
Right. Especially in America.
Yeah.
Like you said, we have some of the worst products in that way. It's a real fight sometimes to find something.
Yeah, there's countries like Japan, which their standards for what they can allow in their products are really, really good. A lot of countries across Europe are really good. But yeah, the US is one of the worst. And then Australia and Canada, not that great. But yeah, US by far. Red 3, red 40, one of the reds is like, you can eat it, but you can't put it on your skin because it'll cause cancer. But it's in all your food, so go for it.
Oh, the red dye?
Yeah, one of the red dyes.
Yeah.
I think it was that one in the
US.
I
think you're right. We just cut all red dye from our food in my house, so that's been a big adjustment, but a good one. A good one.
Yeah.
Are you lost in motherhood and feeling overwhelmed with managing it all? The house, the kids, the running around, and everything in between. You're just so tired that the thought of taking time for yourself is simply exhausting. So instead, you numb out on social media and eat those snacks that are hiding in the back of the freezer. And while you're doing this, you're beating yourself up and comparing yourself to the others that you see online, wondering, why can't I do that? Why doesn't my house look like that? And then you go to bed and you tell yourself you'll do better tomorrow. Tomorrow, you'll take some time for yourself. Tomorrow, you'll go to bed early. Tomorrow, you'll plan a date night. But tomorrow never comes. Those promises that you keep making to yourself, they don't happen because you keep doing the same thing over and over again, just like yesterday, but you're expecting different results. I know this feeling. I have been there. I have been lost in these moments of feeling inadequate in loving my kids and wanting to provide for them in the best way possible, but feeling like I'm failing, like I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. You are not alone, Mama. I see you, and I want to help you get past this, get past these negative feelings and thoughts. I want to see you thrive in your motherhood journey and own this season that you're in. I want to help you see the positive in the everyday and enjoy the little moments and learn how to support yourself again. I want to be your best mom friend next door, whose door is always open, the iced coffee is always ready, and that porch swing is always swinging. I am here to guide you through the tough days because, Mama, I've been there. I know what you're feeling, and it's okay. These feelings are valid, but it's how we respond to them that can change the course of our day. Now, Mama, this right here, these feelings that you're experiencing right now, this is why I created my Mama Connection Coaching. I want to help mamas like you, mamas like me, mamas that want to do it all, that know that it starts with them and how they talk to themselves. Mamas that know that you can do it. You just need a little help, a little encouragement to get started. So what do you say? Are you ready to come knock on my door and start connecting with yourself again? Are you ready to feel caught up in your motherhood journey, to know that you got this? Then I encourage you, Mama, to book a Mama Connection coaching call today so that tomorrow can come and you will be ready and you got this.
Yeah. And see, there's a lot to think about, but I really don't want anyone to get overwhelmed. Like, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a journey, and it's going to be a journey for the rest of your life. But it is about balance and find your priority. So for us, with our son with eczema, our daughter has asthma, they're our priorities. Skin irritants and respiratory irritants. Like, I make sure that there is nothing in our house that can set that off, because then I'm dealing with the consequences of two unhappy kids.
Yes.
So there's other things like phosphates and SLS, SLES, so sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate. There's some other ones to avoid because they're like skin, brain, heart, liver problems can come from those. So but I don't want to overwhelm too much, but fragrance and parabens, and then PEGs. But the biggest thing is to turn it over and look at the ingredients. And this is hard. That's easier with food, because with food, my thing is anything with numbers I put back, because food is not a number. So if it's anything, if it's a number, it's been made in a factory. Anything I can't pronounce that I know is not food. If there's any seed oils or any other additives. But with food, I should be able to pick up a packet of muesli bars, for instance, turn them over, and I should look at the ingredients and be able to go around the supermarket and buy those ingredients to make it. So that's kind of, food is a bit easier in the way of shopping. Whereas with things like personal products and cleaners and things like that, that can be a little bit more difficult because it's all these words that we don't know. But there's some really good apps even. So there's the Think Dirty app, Chemical Maze app. I think there's Yuka is another one, and even the EWG, the Environmental Working Group. You can type in the chemical name and it'll come up based on a rating system and what the risks are and things like that. So,
that's nice. So there are some resources, at least help you in the moment when you're overwhelmed of which one do I buy?
Yeah.
That's nice. So Elyse, with the toxins, you kind of talked about overloading your body, overloading your system, and then we get these symptoms and these issues that come up. And cutting back our toxin intake is one way to help it. Is there anything else that we can do? Is there a detoxing thing that we can do to help with this? Okay, we're doing this stuff. We're going to cut these things out. But can we do something else to kind of give ourselves a boost with this too?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I would say that it's going to help by opening back up your natural detox pathways
Okay.
is going to be the best way, because the toxic burden needs to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do like a detox, but I'm not really one to prescribe like do this detox and then blah 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 blah, because I don't know what your symptoms are, what's actually been going on. But absolutely drinking enough water, particularly as a postpartum mum, particularly if you are breastfeeding, that is so important. Like drinking water is vital for our health and our wellness, full stop. But particularly in postpartum, we need to be getting water, getting our body into direct sunlight. So we've been conditioned to fear the sun. Don't fear the sun, and be wise about, like, don't go out in the middle of summer, in the middle of the day, no sunscreen on, and just go, well, I'm just getting my vitamin D. But the sun, the sun is so good. So first thing in the morning, if you can go outside and eat breakfast with your kids in the sun, that is such a good benefit for your health, because it's going to help boost your immune system. It'll help your energy. It'll even help you sleep better. It helps your detox pathways. Drinking filtered water, as I said, in the morning, you can even add a squeeze of lemon or some lemon essential oil to help get your metabolism going, get the detox pathways going. So some things like that are free and really beneficial that I think we don't.
And easy to do. More water,
super easy.
sunlight, lemon in your water. Those are things that we can do to kind of just help boost our body's reaction time and detoxing.
Yeah. And the other thing is switch your deodorant, which is hard go from like using a aluminium filled deodorant. But the thing with deodorant is it is blocking when you're using a conventional deodorant, not a natural one, the aluminium and other chemicals in it, and aluminium, even if it's not in a spray, even if it's in a roller, still aluminium, one of the first ingredients. And ingredients are listed from quantity. So what is in it the most is listed first, and what's in it the least is listed last. So that's a good note on reading ingredients too.
Yeah, that's a good one to know.
But sweat is like our biggest body's detox way of getting toxins out. And so we don't want to smell gross. So we use deodorant to block the pores so we don't sweat, because we've been conditioned again that sweat is bad and we shouldn't sweat. Actually, we should sweat because it allows our body detoxing, getting rid of the toxic chemicals that are in there. And so allowing your body to sweat to detox, that's a really important one too.
That's a good point, especially thinking about postpartum. And I was talking with another mom about that, and like, we were talking about postpartum sweats, like the hot flashes that you get with postpartum, and you just like wake up completely drenched. Yeah. So there you go. It's okay. Your body is detoxing the toxins out a little bit better today because of that hormonal heat that you got going on. Yeah.
It's that is something that no one warned me about, the sweat with postpartum and like how it smells. Yeah. So you can absolutely just find a natural deodorant that is free of fragrance and free of all the nasty things, to still smell good, but still allow your body to sweat.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great point, like you made about all of that. And I think, like you said, we're never really fully warned on some of those things that are going on, and having those conversations about it is so important. And it's just those little things, like, it's okay to sweat. It's okay to smell. It's normal. Just take another shower, even though if you don't want to. I know. It's okay. Take your kid's baby wipe. I've done that a couple times. Just that midday, like, I just need a little something.
Yeah, especially when you're out and you go, I've got nothing else on me. But I actually had to do that at the airport. We had a flight delayed, and I was like, oh, I just feel yuck.
Yeah.
Baby life.
You bought a good one. Right. We're there. Why not? Okay. Well, Elyse, this has been an amazing conversation. I have so much more information on Low-Tox, what we can do, how to better support our bodies in postpartum and our babies, and just this overall ability to go Low-Tox. And I feel like we have the tools now to get started. But let's say that we want a little bit more. Elyse, where can people connect with you and get more information on what it is that you do and just more of all of this conversation that we're having about Low-Tox and family?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like, all right, I know the stuff, but now how?
Yeah.
So you can connect with me on Instagram. The handle is @wholesomemumma, MUMMA, because I'm in Australia. And I actually have a free workshop that your listeners can grab a copy of, and I will give you the link. So that is explaining, kind of going into more detail and an overview of Low-Tox and really taking away the hype and the coolness of it. So I'll give you the link there. And then I have a podcast as well called The Wholesome Mumma Show, which I hang out on a lot. And then the website is wholesomemumma.com. So anywhere Wholesome Mumma, you can find me and connect with me there.
Awesome. That's so great. And we'll have, like you said, all those links for you guys in the show notes so you can connect with Elyse and get more and get to that workshop that she's got as well and get all the information so we can all get Low-Tox in the home. So thank you again, Elyse, for coming on. I really appreciate the time today.
Thank you so much, Jess. It's been a pleasure to be on and chat with you. It's been fun.
Hey, Mama. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I know you have a lot going on, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I hope this episode gave you new energy to tackle the day. If so, could you leave a review and subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode? That would mean the world to me. I'd also love to connect with you on Instagram, so send me a DM and let me know if this episode was helpful. I love hearing from you. Remember, Mama, you got this. Until next time, I'm Jessa Ray, and this is Caught Up in Motherhood.